war in Ukraine has been going on for years now. It started as a conflict between Ukrainian government forces and Russian-backed separatists in the eastern regions of Donetsk and Luhansk, then annexation of Crimea, and last year Russia started a full-out war against Ukraine, trying to erase the country from the maps. This has claimed thousands of lives, displaced millions of people, and caused widespread damage to infrastructure and property. Hi, I'm Alla Shapiro, and this is the Spa Rana channel. I'm the spa owner of 2 Woodhouse Spas in Montclair and Hoboken, New Jersey, and this is the Spa Rana channel, which is dedicated to topics such as health, wellness, and beauty. This video is outside of the topics I normally cover, but I was born in Ukraine, and what is currently going on is very painful. I want to talk about disinformation of Russian people in Russia. Russian people's view is problematic because until people hold their government accountable, these atrocities will continue. Stay until the end and I will tell you how this war personally affected my family. Let's get back to the Russian misinformation.
Русские не ведут войну. Мы не ведем войну. Вести войну – это совсем другое дело, это полное уничтожение инфраструктуры, это полное уничтожение городов и так далее и тому подобное. Мы этого не делаем. Мы пытаемся сохранять инфраструктуру, и второе, мы пытаемся сохранять человеческие жизни.
Despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary, Russia has repeatedly denied its role in the war and spread misinformation to deflect blame and justify its action. Russian propaganda has portrayed the conflict as a struggle between Ukrainian nationalists and Russian-speaking minorities, a fight against fascism and neo-Nazism, and a defense of Russian-speaking people's rights and cultural identity. But in reality, the conflict is a result of Russia's aggression, annexation of Crimea, and support of separatist rebels. I recently had an exchange with this woman, and I'm posting the clippings here with the translation. What she's saying is pretty typical. This is what Russian people from Russia believe based on what they are being told by their media. I'm not going to analyze each statement she made just because it's unnecessary. They speak for themselves. The Ukrainian war has seen countless atrocities and human rights violations committed by Russian side. They have killed children, raped women, displaced families, and destroyed towns. They have spread fear, hatred, and division and caused untold suffering to innocent people.
Ми для них взагалі були ніщо. Як мені під час однієї зустрічі з тими ж кадирівцями сказав один з них, чого тут ходиш, у нас приказ стріляти, по-русски, у нас приказ стріляти без предупреждення. Ніхто не знає, скільки людей залишилось під руїнами. Коли Росія каже, що під драмтеатром залишилось 12 людей загибло всього. Ну як можна цьому вірити? Коли ти знаєш, що в драмтеатрі знаходилось біля 1000 людей на той момент. А скільки людей загинуло під будинками, коли бомбили жилі квартали?
Like I promised at the beginning of the video, I will tell you the story of my family and how we were affected by this horrible war. I was born in Kiev, Ukraine. I left Kiev when I was 15 years old many years ago. All my family left with the exception of my Uncle Mark and his wife Mary. They were super interesting people, and when I was a kid I would visit often. Mark and Mary would take me to meet their friends who were artists, poets and musicians. I always felt that I was traveling into a different world, and I would often stay there at their apartment. In 2020, Aunt Mary died, and Mark at 86 years old was left all alone with no family members there. I was traveling to Ukraine a few times a year after that to make sure that Mark was taken care of. I could not go anymore when the war started. I remember the first days of the war when Kiev was under constant attack and it was not clear that Ukraine would stand. I worried so much about Mark. I knew even if we would find a way to bring him to the US, he would not survive the trip. In May of last year, Mark died. It was very sad that none of our family was able to travel for his funeral. I'm thankful that the woman who we hired to take care of him didn't leave him when the war started. That was my biggest worry. I didn't know who would take care of him. The truth is that the war in Ukraine is not a civil war or a conflict between two nations. It is a war between aggression and sovereignty, between freedom and oppression, between truth and lies, and we must stand with the truth, with Ukraine, with justice. Everybody is waiting for the Ukrainian offensive. I really hope that it's successful. They take a lot of territories back. They move Russians as far from the Ukrainian land as possible, and hopefully maybe it will bring the end of war closer to the end, and maybe it will finish this year, maybe it will finish this month. I really hope so. And I'm so very thankful to our government, to European governments, for everybody who stepped in and helped Ukraine to stand, and with money, with equipment, with tanks, hopefully with the planes sooner than later. I'm very thankful to all the people who tell me how they feel horrible about the situation, and I am proud to be born in Ukraine, and I'm proud to be a US citizen, like two great countries, and I really hope that we will see prosperous, beautiful Ukraine in the near future.